What, Sandy?
Cockpit poster.
What happens if you take the low out of the Mandalorian? Well, you get the Man-Darian, of course.
So Kuigar, I am the Man-Darian, but you are welcome to just call me Darian. That is actually my name. So we're just going to do a little fly through of the Dx9a Cockpit. It is in fact a canon Star Wars ship for the stormtroopers to be dropped off in, but I don't know where you've seen it. I don't even believe it's actually in the background of any of the movies. This is Mr. Aaron Harrison that has just appeared on the screen. He's been my boss in film for 10 years, and yeah, he's the head of props and costumes on the Bucketheads production. We like to call it Propstumes because it's a little bit of everything. So this video is going to be a little on the rough side because this is my literally first day using a GoPro 8, and I didn't really have a plan on what I was doing. I thought that this footage would actually be spliced in with other people's behind the scenes, but it turns out I was literally the only person taking behind the scenes footage. So there are going to be pieces missing of this build, but I was just hoping to inspire other creators and give them a good idea of what actually goes into building some of these cockpits and sets. In this shot you can kind of see 4 different sets, and the camera is mounted on our 5th set, that being the TIE cockpit. So directly in front of us is the beginning of that cockpit for the Dx9a. Above that is the currently set up for Gallius Rax's office on the Imperial Star Destroyer. Behind that, I don't remember what set was sitting there. To the right, where you see those pillars, that is the crew hold for the Dx9a. And then in front of that, you can't really see either, is the interrogation room on the Imperial Star Destroyer. Those steps to the right is the platform for the Death Star 1 and 2 memorials, which has a gangway on it. You'll see a little later on. And then we've got random knickknacks from different pieces of shows and whatnot. Quite a bit of the materials that we use for this set were donated to us, but for example, the flooring that is in the cockpit here was all CNC routered. All of those grooves are about halfway through the MDF. I'm not totally sure it's MDF that we use because I'm not a wood guy, but I'm sure Caleb is screaming at me currently, trying to correct whatever I think it actually is. It doesn't really matter though, because it's the same product, just in a different thickness. I'm semi-sure being a metal worker. So yeah, just more geometry. Caleb really knows what he's doing. I don't believe I already mentioned it, but some of these pieces have to come on and off, so if you see me gluing some pieces and not others, that is why, is we have to pull them off, drill out one size for agreeably, which is generally a light or a switch in this particular case, but sometimes it can be other things. And I can't believe how phenomenal this wall turned out. Like, he really nailed this plan. Part of what you can't see is in the next room there are people building the walls for this cockpit, and I believe they're doing the front as well. So they're just hammering 2x4s into the right spots with pieces that have been CNC routed out to have the exact geometry of what we need. So because we're jumping between sets, sometimes you'll notice things will have gotten done between shots. It's just, I didn't know that the GoPro's timed out after, and probably, I don't even think it's an hour. I think it's a random interval, like 45 minutes. My videos will get better eventually, but this was also, at the time of doing the voiceover, probably 3.5 years later. If you look, there is a person painting the walls there. I believe that is Lee Aaron. And they are a champion because I absolutely loathe and despise painting. So anything that people want to do to make that not a part of my life makes me happy. It's just this black primer that we found that was actually better than what we've been using before. So it held up on the floors way better than we were expecting. I don't think we did any touch-ups, and we've rebuilt this set several times since this original build. Mr. Harrison has joined me, and now he is vacuuming the floor, which we'll have to do again later, because when you're painting, you got to make sure that all of the dust and sawdust and whatever other particles are out of the way. Otherwise, you can't tell what the groove is, and that could cause problems with the paint coming up. So, not to mention it leaves weird textures, so you don't want your steel supposed floor to look like it's got mud coming up out of it, or rust, or whatever. I guess if I were on the Rebels side, that would be an added bonus, but we're not currently working on the Rebels, so there you have it. Unfortunately, we will actually never be working on the Rebels because we are no longer working on Bucketheads. It took us 3.5 years to film the first episode, and then another 9 months to finish the computer graphic imaging for all the rest. So the production has called it quits on the Buckethead series at the finale of our pilot episode. Oh well, they are continuing on their own projects. I believe they've filmed 2 already and are about to film their 3rd this coming winter in 2025. I believe it is written by Caleb Friesen and it's produced by our original AD, Alex, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with. I don't believe I myself will be doing anything other than maybe some background acting. We'll have to see. There you have it. So we are done with the Bucketheads as far as we can see in the near future. It was starting to be, actors are going to start aging with what's supposed to be a matter of days. And now most of our main cast doesn't even live in Vancouver. It's just one of those inconvenient things that people have to follow their careers and dreams, and we wish the best to them. Hopefully they really get to do what they are passionate for. So yeah, here's Lee Aaron. As I said, I had to speed this up 4 more times because nobody wants to watch 20 minutes of a floor being painted. But they did a great job, and it's a lot of detail work, which I personally love detail work. Just paint I am horrendous with. So if you watch to the right, you can see me running by and lifting heavy things, because that's pretty much all I do for the set builders is, hey thug, hold this wall, move this there, go take major stuff and put it in a different room. So I'm not really a builder despite being a construction worker. To be fair, construction principles and set principles are wildly different things. Like building it to be like a house actually would be an incredible waste of money, because you'd be putting in way too much stuff to make the walls heavier, especially when you have to adjust them, move them entirely out of the way to get a camera in an unexpected place. It's just not necessary. So everybody knows on a set that you're not really supposed to lean against the walls. It's not a structurally sound thing. There will be places that are reinforced so that if, say, you have a ladder going up to another floor and somebody has to climb it, well, we're going to make sure that absolutely everything there is rock solid so that the actor can safely get up and down or whatever they need to do. But most walls there, if you look in the background, they're weird angles, and the 2x4s would not be in the right spots for where they should be in a real house. But that's just a part of what we do, right? If you look to the left, that's me ripping apart a chair from Snowpiercer, I believe, but it might be lost in space. Just trying to make things work for what our purposes are, right? Just because it worked on one show doesn't mean it's necessarily going to work perfectly on another show. And we were happy that those materials were donated to us. It was very kind, and Aaron Harrison deserves a big round of applause for single-handedly ripping apart that spaceship and organizing all the materials to come to Buckethead. So there's me being ADD, knowing that the thing that I was told to wait a minute for was going to be 20, so I might as well make an appearance. This is Caleb prepping the wall for our weird angled ship hull. So, because in a minute we're all going to be grabbing a ton of crew to pick up those pieces and put them in place. Caleb also deserves a shout out because he was managing so much at this time, pretty much by himself. I'm just screwing in the bolsters. But we're about to run out of time here. Unfortunately, I didn't get to finish filming this whole process. hopefully any future sets we get to build, I will be able to film better. I have much better cameras at this point. I just don't know how much more I will be doing with this crew. So we'll see. Hopefully you'll join us for those videos if they exist, but there will still be a few Bucketheads builds in between now and whatever I happen to do in the future. So please like and subscribe if you enjoy my work. Comment if there's any questions you have. And please enjoy the couple minutes of behind the scenes, just getting to see our actors on set practicing their lines. This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
I reach a loud and clear command. This is Satera. Just a little engine kickback.
So, if you're open to it, so when they call, right?